Live Aid as well. And we've got to quickly touch on that incredible day. I mean, what do you remember about that day? And what do you remember about being asked to be involved on that day and playing first and things?
Bob Geldof asked us, Rick and I were doing promos of some sort. We were off for the summer, which is unusual. And he came in, it was the same record company. To me, it was just some upstart, some new Irish band, you know. And he had that air of superiority, and he still has that. I suppose it's the education. And he asked us, well, we're not, no thanks, see you, Rob, I'm not interested. And we carried on, you know, and I think we were there a week or so later or something. And he kept coming, and he said, look, you know, I'm really getting this, I'm really getting that. And he said, I said, look, we're not getting on as a band. He said, it doesn't matter a fuck what you sound like. It's a sweet talking fucker. And he said, if I can get one of the older bands, thanks. Wife's just going out. To do it, I can get out of this. Subsequently, I found out he did that to a lot of the older acts. But once everybody had agreed, then showbiz kicked in. Everyone said, I'm not going on first. I can't go on before. I'm bigger than them. I'm bigger than him. This fucking shite hit the fan. And then Colin was saying to us, you know, he said, I've got serious trouble. And him and I, Rick and I said, we go on first because we had no idea what the gig was going to be. We'd been committed to do the fucking thing, kind of. What do we don't do that for? Well, we can get in there, be on at midday, be home by 12. What? We finished for 10 hours. We'll be home by 12:30, not knowing that it was going to be that big. And then when we got on the gig, there were all these rules you could be in, and everyone was very well behaved, which is weird. But suddenly everybody came out of the frigging woodwork who weren't on it. Certain people that I met backstage that what you're doing here, I don't know. But you realise then that whomever people are, that however they're supposed to be intellectuals musically or some musical elite, you're still doing the fucking same thing we are, trying to keep your band alive. And we came off the stage on the thing, and everyone was like that, kind of like, but there was this sort of sick grin on everybody. God, shit, should have gone on first, because none of us realised that opening and us on there, that went worldwide. I don't know how many times that day and the rest of that week. That kind of PR, you couldn't buy it, as they say. And loads of people. Subsequently, the next one that went on some years later, I believe you two wanted to go on first because they were busy or something. And that we were asked to do that one as well and couldn't get back to go on. We said, we can go on first. And they said, somebody else wants to go on first. There's a surprise, love. And I'm knocking and being sarcastic, but that is show business. And never thought it would be that big. Quite an experience, but the overall sense of euphoria from the audience, never felt that since or before. This sense of galvanised again, that unity, that everybody was doing something kind of worthwhile. It was the era, like you said, of all the stuff that was going on in the world, and it was loads of money. It was Harry Enfield with his loads of money, taking the piss of the bankers and stuff. So I think they all thought we're going to do something worthwhile. But I also thought that British Airways could blank their ads on telly for a while, put that in a pot. All the petrol companies around the world could say, rather than they're going to tell you, buy our petrol, it makes your car go. Well, it's a fucking surprise, eh? So that could have, they spend, you know, tax, exempt of tax and so on, tax deductible. All those things could have been put in the pot, but as usual, to Bob's credit, is that they are, oh, don't worry, it'll go away. They'll do it for a couple of weeks, be gone, fuck it, bollocks. And that's what they did, fuck it and bollocks, rather than really truly raise some phenomenal amounts of money. I think it raised about 80 or so million or something at the time, and probably did some good. But again, if we really, really, really wanted to, we could have been hundreds of millions. And everybody could have got on board. But they said, now you let them pop stars do what they think they can do. Okay. And they were true. It did its thing. But I'm a grumpy old shit. So there you go.
And what was the feeling backstage? And did you get to hang around, or were you kind of escorted off shortly after your set?
No, Rick went off because I don't know where he disappeared to. And I hung about the other day. I've got no room. I remember looking at Elvis Costello, and I thought, all right, he didn't musical elite, you know, and I saw later in the day, saw David Bowie walking, and I said, wow, where you been? You look good. He went, I thought, oh, all right. So, but I was drinking at the time. Pretty sure I was drinking at the time. Otherwise, I would have just got out of the way. So the other thing that did the drinking made me a bit more sociable than I actually am. And I just hung around there. And then there was a finale. Oh, no, I hate that shit. And I was sat on the table with Dave Bowie, Steve Van Zandt, I think it is, and we're all sat on this table, and Bob said, let's go upstairs. Please yourself. And the light went out, and this table we were sat on collapsed. And then I just thought, well, I'm not going to go up. I better read. So I crept up the back a little bit, just stood at the back for a minute until it was finished, and then went home. I'm not too good at all that. I'm only good at what I do.